the Meat Improv.
Hello and welcome to the Meat Improv with me, Josh Simpson.
And me, Jake Jabbour.
The Meat is the improv and storytelling podcast where we bring on comedian guests to tell true, meaty stories from their lives. And then what do we do, Jake?
Well, we use those stories as inspiration for long-form improvised comedic scenes.
That's right. Today we have two very special guests, both returning to the show from Herald Night, Leroy, and Sunday Hoops, playing basketball with me every Sunday. We haven't done it in 2 months. It's Josh Brekus.
Oh, hello. I thought you forgot my name and just thought it was Leroy.
It isn't.
No.
Yeah, I have trouble remembering another Josh's name.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well, welcome back aboard.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, and I can't wait till we can play basketball. Oh.
Me neither.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. Our second guest, also returning, although it's been a minute. My teammate on Teacher's Lounge, formerly of Bucky. Mm-hmm. What am I missing?
Squadron at UCB.
That's right. Squadron. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, too. Frank Garcia-Hejl. Welcome, Frank.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, Frank.
I probably have the record for the worst person canceling last minute on this show ever.
You're not alone in the last minute.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't even going to bring it up, Frank.
I had some kind of weird bad luck with every time you book me on this show, something terrible would happen or something would come up where I'd have to be like, I'm sorry, I got to cancel. And I felt like a dick the whole time. So sorry.
It's okay, Frank. I'm glad we got you on, man.
Yeah, me too.
With you.
It only took a pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a little harder to get out of stuff. Not saying that's how we got you, but it is. Like, people are like, hey, can you do this or that? It's like, I'm busy.
Well, I mean, I have two podcasts, and I have had people just flat out being like, no. Because I think some people just don't feel like doing anything, you know?
It's almost, I kind of get that. Like, yeah.
It's the Wild West. You're going to do whatever you want, I think.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I don't want to. What are you going to do? Challenge my mental health right now? And then everyone's like, no.
Yeah. I'm still. I put it out there. I've got a great audio setup. I'm willing to guest on podcasts. No asks yet, but one day. Anyway, I guess let's do a little check. I was gonna perhaps talk about anything going on, but I feel like this last week for me has mostly been like, I guess I've been figuring out some stuff I already should have been figuring out, like how to use my recording equipment, and I've been making a video, it's been taking over my life. But we were talking a little bit before we turned on the mics, but what's the story of this last week for you all in quarantine? Any big plans? Anything you're looking forward to? I'm sorry to keep going back to the quarantine, dear listeners. I know you probably come here for escapism, but what the hell?
It'd be wild if you didn't address it.
Yeah.
And we just were like, oh yeah, I can't wait to I'm going to Greece in a week. And it's just like, no.
Yeah. There's a giant foam party happening there, and I can't wait to go.
Yeah. Oh God, a foam party is the worst. Would be the worst place.
What if that was like what people were like, I really, really miss foam parties, and I can't wait till this is all done so I can go back to foam parties.
Yeah. I don't even know where you can go to a good foam party pre-quarantine. I can't even.
Yeah. I don't know what a good foam party looks like.
Yeah. What's happening to the mom and pop foam party shops? You know? How are they doing during this?
The foam business is in the toilet.
Yeah. They have super sad foam commercials where the foam is just disintegrating. It's just. I'm brewing my own beer in the quarantine.
Really?
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, that's like a waiting activity, though. That's not.
Yeah, it's kind of the worst. Yeah. Brew day was real fun, and now I got a month to let it ferment and carbonate. Yeah, but
that's at least something to like knock off the old list.
What kind of beers do you got?
I'm brewing an amber ale right now.
Damn, that was my favorite.
Yeah, and I'm like getting really into it, and I'm realizing like if I really want to do this, I got to sink $1,000 to get like a fridge and a keg and all that stuff. So I got to decide if I want to do that.
Yeah.
How much do you get out of one batch?
48 beers.
48 beers.
Not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could catch up. You could maybe get to the point where you're saving money on that.
Yeah.
48 beers, an amber ale at a bar is like $6 in LA at least.
Yeah, I got this dingy garage.
Can't do that math.
I could make it into like a brewery and get shut down by the cops.
What about you, Frank? You got any quarantine activities?
My days are spent trying to keep a toddler happy. It's impossible because she was so used to going to the playground, and we've had to figure out ways of we've had to go to parks, but we have to make sure there's like nobody there. We have to go at different times and stuff. And yesterday we went to Griffith Park, which because a friend was like, "Oh, it's fine" and stuff. And there were so many people there. We were able to find a spot where it wasn't close to anyone. But it's so terrifying because I'm the type of person who's like, I just want to stay in. I'm just like, I just don't want to deal with anything if I don't have to. But we've had to be very creative and figure out like, how do we keep her happy because she has to go out, obviously, but then also be safe at the same time. So it's been a real, you can't explain to a toddler that barely talks like, hey, sorry, there's a pandemic going on. You can't have fun. We bought so much stuff off of online, like between us and our grandparent and her grandparents, just buying her, like, we have a little ball pit for her, like a little slide, all this shit that we bought just so that, like, I don't know, we're trying to figure it out, like how do you keep them occupied? It's impossible.
Yeah, that's a hard age to keep occupied, even with an open world.
Right? Yeah, it's very much so.
There's a mother and a little boy who I guess live like on my street, and I like went out the front of my building, and we have steps in the front of my building, and he was like climbing up and down them and stuff like that. And she was like, sorry, this has become our playground. I've seen her with him like multiple mornings, or it was just like, the playground is the neighbor's steps. There
have been many times I'm like, I just want to explain to my daughter, just being like, sorry, daddy's not that successful and we can't have a backyard.
It's like my driving goal in life is to get my dog a backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think I'm going to get some sod. There's like an 8x5 foot patch that I'm about to make, and don't worry about it. But that's one of my little activities.
You instantly turned into a dad. I think I'm going to get some sod.
Really?
Make that a t-shirt. Yeah. I don't know.
I tried. I went to Home Depot and they were out. My dog does like, I hate when people are like comparing kids to dogs, but my dog, we have a park right by our house, and it like always tries to go in, but the fence is locked. And like the dog just looks at me like, what? Come on. Like, let's go in. And yesterday I just he can fit through the thing. So I just let him through and I climbed it. We were just in a chained off park. It's just lawn. I don't think there's anything that bad about it. I think they just don't want a bunch of people in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got in and I was the only, it couldn't have been safer.
I don't mind when people compare their pets to children, because especially dogs, because they're a lot of responsibility, and you have to, you have to base your life around their schedule as well. Yeah. So it really is like prepping for a child. So I never get offended when people, compare their pets to children. As somebody with a child, I'm like, yeah, I've had pets too. I know. Yeah, it's a lot of work,
Yeah.
Nowhere near the amount of work as a kid, but still, it's a lot of work.
And you can fuck up more if it's a dog. It's just like, well, it doesn't have to really learn anything.
Yeah. If your dog dies, people are like, oh, that's too bad.
Well, depending on how the dog dies, though, like if you're Mike Huckabee's son, then that's a different story. But
Was he the one that did? No, Romney's tied the dog to the roof. What did Huckabee's
that was
son do?
Huckabee's son.
Oh, really? I thought it was the Romneys.
Well, my uncle one time we were just having a nice conversation, and he just went into a story about how he forgot he chained his dog to his truck.
Oh, Jesus.
Back and dragged it. It was like, this is totally out of context, but it just made me think of this one time. And we were like, why did you fucking tell that story? We weren't even adjacent to like dogs or trucks or that.
He's like, God damn it, I'm just trying to connect.
Yeah.
That's his only story. All right, I'll show you vulnerability. Yeah, but he dragged it to the airport, and if someone at the airport was like, hey, yeah.
Well, happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Yeah, happy Memorial Day.
Improv.
We cut to Las Vegas, Nevada. There's a club, like a club, and like a middle-aged couple in the back office. We got to think of something. We got to figure it out because people don't want foam parties right now, and we're going under. We can only take on so much of the small business grants. We're going under, and I'm losing my fucking shirt.
Well, how much do we have in the account for Purell?
Let's get the whole family in. It's fine. For Purell,
Sorry, I just overheard. I was in the other room.
No, we want your opinion, Randy. You work here too. We do.
Correct.
We really do.
I'm the janitor.
You're the cleanup guy.
Yep.
And just for the record, we are not paying you for the last 2 months, but we appreciate you.
Oh.
Well, you sort of insisted. You don't want to get into the details. We'll try to pay you, but we need all hands on deck here. All right?
They didn't give me a stimulus check.
We gave you the website to the EDD.com, California, so you could maybe apply for
the EDD.
Yeah, workers' comp.
I don't trust it.
No,
that's how they get you.
They get you to
you
log
will not
in.
be. He thinks he's going to be part of a grand system if he logs into any kind of anything, a computer, anything. He doesn't even log in for work. I have to do it for him.
Randy,
Correct.
your job is
and I never will.
You sweep up foam scum off the ground after orgies and sex parties and all sorts of gross
Right,
stuff.
and I do it well, don't I?
You do, but you haven't had to do it. So get a free check and don't sweep scum.
I will die the day that I get a free check for doing nothing.
Okay, it's not.
Okay, well,
Look, we're getting off.
throw
we
some
have this
gold on the
conversation
ground. Let me
every
clean
day.
Every day. This is our
All I'm
morning
saying-
meeting every day.
All I'm saying is get a tub of Purell and spray that over people. Let's do that instead of the foam.
Whoa, that's actually
Jesus.
Whoa.
You've been sitting on
Randy,
that?
this is your first really good idea. Yeah, what? Wait, we could disinfect people. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Instead of foam, we spray them with disinfectant.
We can still play Diplo.
Yeah.
We could have a DJ come in. What the fuck, Randy? You did it.
See, that's from years of not logging on to your so-called internet.
All right. It seems more like an off-the-cuff idea. But you know what? We can give it a shot. We'll get the people of Las Vegas to come through our Purell party. Maybe we'll even do some good in the process.
Yeah, and I mean, our name is already Destiny, so we could just change it to Disinfectany, and it's just all right there. You don't like that name? You don't like the name? Okay.
I'm just thinking of the logistics.
Thank you, Randy.
We got to change the sign.
Can I tell you one
I
thing?
can change the sign.
Yeah, you can do it. I just want to tell you one thing Randy told me before this. He said every time you log into a computer, the computer grabs data from your iris of your eye, and that's how it steals your thoughts. I just wanted everyone to.
Absolutely. You know how people think when you take pictures of you, it steals your soul?
Yeah.
That's what the computer does to your iris.
We cut to a month later. The family is meeting with a business manager. Well, it was a hit. You guys, the Purell parties are doing really great. I looked over your numbers. You're doing an excellent job. Though, going over your books, I did notice you've got a guy on the payroll, Randy, in charge of cleaning up, but you're throwing Purell parties. So everything is pretty clean at the end of those parties.
What's going on in here?
Hey, Randy.
Yeah, Randy. Yeah.
Sorry, Randy.
Randy's
we closed the door to the office. We had
I was
our
cleaning
iPads
and
on.
I just okay.
This is not your office. You don't have to clean this office. This is the business manager's.
I'll be damned if I have to ever. I'll die the day that I don't have to clean an office.
Well, this gentleman here wants us to get rid of you, Randy.
Come again. Go ahead.
What I was saying was, there's a little redundancy here, a redundancy, if you will. It seems like you're
don't you dare use my name like that.
Randy, hear him out.
You're paying a guy to
Call me a dunce.
Okay. Look, I'm just saying, Randy, you might need your job occupation shifted as you are cleaning up after essentially a giant sterilization. I don't know what you're cleaning up after these parties.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever spilled a little bit of Purell on the floor?
Yes, of course I have.
That just disappear?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, multiply that by 10,000. That don't just disappear. We don't just crank up the heat hoping that it goes away.
Come to think of it, Randy,
People slipping and sliding.
you're walking around in Purell after the Purell party. You're kind of making it dirtier.
Yeah. You know, people they're bringing in their feet from outside.
I know. We just spray the Purell one more time.
You know, it's like New York snow. It's like New York snow. You know, it's beautiful at first, but then after a while, it gets all sludgy and gross, and you find Cheeto wrappers in it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People leave their dog droppings in there.
Now, you did say something interesting. You said if we turned up the heat, it would evaporate.
No, I didn't say that. No, sir. That is not a viable way to get rid of it without me cleaning it.
I mean, you're not going to. Randy knows disinfectant. You're not going to. And he knows bubbles. Look, I'm going to stick up. We can't get rid of Randy. We can't. There's got to be another way to get cut costs.
He could check people in on the iPad.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Well,
Sorry.
You've got a surplus of foam. If you could sell that foam to, I don't know, a root beer company or some sort of special effects team.
To a root beer company.
What do you want? The bodies and the sweat of 17-year-olds in your root beer?
Not old foam. You've got to start with new foam.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Why would we?
This
even
man's
make
into
fun then?
weird root beer.
We cut back. We cut to Jake back at a root beer factory with his best friends. So, did you get the old foam for the root beer? Did you get the old scum? Did you get the old scum to put on the top of the root beer?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, they looked down their nose at me, but they were willing to take. I was able to take it off their hands for almost nothing. I got buckets of foam in the car, and so what I'm thinking is just add a little head to the top of all these root beers.
What's going on in here?
Randy.
Wait, so how long do you have to wait for this to see results?
A month.
A month.
Yeah.
Okay, it just seems like it's a lot of time to wait to make pizza.
Okay. Well, I don't. How much do you know about pizza? Let's just. I'm not going to do that thing where I feel like I'm talking down to you. But
Thank you. I hate that.
How much do you know about pizza?
Okay. Well, I know that it doesn't take a month to make. I mean, that's maybe 30 minutes, an hour at most for good pizza.
Okay. All right, Domino's.
Okay.
All right. Pizza Hut. Is that who you are?
Pizza Hut?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to make dog shit cardboard pizza, then go ahead. But if you want to make artisanal pizza, you have to curate the ingredients.
Okay. So say that you're right. This is the best pizza I've ever had. I just don't think it's worth waiting a month for any type of food.
I don't have anything. Is that what you want to hear me say? I don't have anything. Okay, I don't have a goddamn thing to do.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
My dog ran away on purpose. Okay?
On purpose?
Yes. He left a little bit of a note. I know a dog can't write, of course.
Well,
but it's his favorite blanket, and he left it on. He took it from the room and he left it by a hole he dug by the fence, which is him going, "I'm out."
Jesus Christ, Josh.
Yeah.
Wait, is it because you were talking down to him?
Well, you have to talk down to a dog.
I mean,
I'm not meaning literally. I mean that too, unless it's a Great Dane or you're just small. But I mean, you gotta train it. But and also you gotta get the water from New York for the pizza. Okay.
Oh, wait, you have to. Okay, so in addition to the fact that it takes a month to make this pizza, you have to import water. I guess that's not importing. Sorry, I don't understand the actual meaning of import, but you have to get water from New York.
Yeah, everyone knows the best water is in New York.
Oh, right? I know it, buddy. I holiday there all the time.
You like to use the word holiday. I like that when people say I holiday there.
I have a very European sensibility.
Yeah,
you've seen my hat.
You change it. I mean, you've switched hats in the last 20 minutes.
Okay, but this isn't about me and my European style.
It's not.
This is about the fact that it takes you a month to make pizza.
Look, when you don't have anything going on at all.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't have a career. What?
No, why don't you have I don't know, you've been wanting to start that podcast. Why don't you do that?
Because I don't like the sound of my voice, and the microphone didn't come on Amazon, so I have to do a podcast with it on microphone.
Josh.
Pizza's the only thing I can control, and it's if I have the best pizza in town, then I can shit on people that eat Domino's and Pizza Hut and Chuck E. Cheesy and all that shit.
Buddy, you see, as they're having this conversation, a possum comes and takes the pizza away under a fence.
Oh my God!
The same fence my dog dug.
Well, then
he probably taught that possum. He taught that possum what to do.
He taught the possum?
I don't know.
Okay, but look, this gives you something to do. Now you can patch up that fence. That'll take up some time. That'll give you some self-worth.
I saw that little micro expression you made after you said self-worth.
Okay.
Okay.
Look, that's just a European thing. That's what Europeans do. It does. It means it's a sign of, love and affection.
Because people that don't have anything, the only way they make other people, the only way they feel like they have something is one very specific thing that no one else has. So if I make the most obnoxious pizza, I can lord that over people. And then I feel like I can do something.
All right,
Pizza
Josh.
Hut delivery. Pizza Hut delivery for Frank.
Oh, hey, right over here.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to dip into this.
Kidding me.
What?
Pizza
you
Hut
told me, you invited me over. You said, I come over for some pizza. I didn't know I'd have to spend a whole goddamn month for it.
Okay.
But
You went to Pizza Hut?
I did go to Pizza Hut.
It's
Okay.
worse than Pizza Hut.
Mr.
It's
Domino's?
a-
Got a Mr. Domino's delivery?
Mr. Domino's.
Right
You
over
gotta be
here.
kidding me.
See how
Can't even
fast that
toppings.
was?
What's
Mr.
that?
Domino's doesn't even have toppings.
Whoop, that's our specialty. No toppings. Not even cheese. It takes too long.
Okay, Josh, I can tell you're upset by this. I'm going to eat these pizzas by myself, but then guess what? In a month, I'll eat your pizza.
Please.
How about that?
Please do.
Charles E. Cheese Pizza.
Oh,
Ooh, over here.
yeah.
Yes, here you go.
Hey, Charles, before you go, Charles,
Yes,
would you wait a month for pizza?
a month. Heavens no.
Okay.
See, if a
We
classy
got,
rat like
we
that,
got to Charles E. Cheeses. There's a bunch of disappointed kids. Like, what are these arcade games? We're supposed to move. This is a giant game of chess?
Yes. Have you tried the polo?
Is it arcade? What?
The
I thought there was like
polo.
arcade games in here.
We've got animatronic horses you can ride around and knock a ball using polo.
Oh, polo. Ugh.
Polo sucks.
This is the worst 12th birthday party I have ever had, Mom.
Would you like some fresh caviar on your slice of pizza?
Oh,
Josh's 1 month long pizza delivery service, who ordered?
This delivery man has a full beard, like disheveled.
ooh, I want to try this.
Here you go.
Wow. That is some of the worst pizza I've ever had.
All right, let's get into the meat part of the podcast. This is where a guest shares a true meaty story from their lives. Josh Brekus, you are up first.
Yeah.
What would you like to talk about?
Okay, I got a meaty story about this is the first time I went to jail. Yeah.
I like that it's the first time.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking my first time going to American jail. If we're talking Mexico, I've been there 3 times, but that's not real. Mexico.
Shit.
Yeah, but
What?
wait, I can tell the story about going to jail in Mexico. That's a better story.
Please. I mean,
The other one was dumb. Okay, so my buddy's dad had a condo in Rocky Point, Mexico. I went to school in Arizona, so it's like a 4.5 hour drive. This was our first time going. It was about like 6 of us, and we just went down for like a weekend just to have a good old time. And we went to this one club. It's not really a club. It was just like a bar on the beach. And we were there for like 3 nights. So this was our second night. So we kind of knew everything. I don't know. We're getting, and it's like one of those bars where it's just like everyone's coming there. They're all in their 20s. I mean, some people were probably in high school and just getting destroyed. Like everyone is, it's just one of those fun places where everyone, like a guy fell asleep. Like it was a big horse trough in the bathroom and a guy fell asleep and his friends were in the trough somehow and they were pissing in his face. And I was like, okay, so this is the atmosphere we're at. Like no one cares. Yeah. People are, it's like everyone watched Jackass and like drink, like and did like 10 tequila shots and we're like, all right, let's just go be assholes. It's that type of vibe. And then they had a taco stand right outside the club, and the guy made incredible street tacos. Or we were just all shit faced, and we're like, and they were like basically the equivalent of they were $1. Anyways, and we really liked these tacos and like obsessed about them, which is stupid. So on the final night, we went to me and my buddy. We went there and we're like really drunk. And we went to the taco stand guy. He's in line before me. He gets 2 tacos. I'm like, good for you, buddy. And then I go up and I go like, oh, can I have some tacos? He's like, I just ran out. I was like, fuck, okay. So my buddy Matt, I was like, all right, well, give me one of your tacos. And he's like, no. And we're drunk. I'm like, give me one of your tacos, dude. The guy's out of tacos. We've been talking about tacos all night. And like, I was like, give me your taco. And we're in the middle of the street. And he's like, no. So I just went, boom, and I just took his hand, so it like smashed the taco inside of his, like on his face, and then we're all like laughing, and then all of a sudden 2 Toyota trucks roll up with federales, about 6 in each car, so we're talking about 12 federales, ski mask, I don't know what gun, but it looked like an automatic, like an AK-47 or 7, just roll up to us in the middle of the street.
What is a federale? I'm that stupid.
Is
that like official cops, or is that?
That's more I think the police and then the federales, and then I don't know I don't want to get too much into the politics. I don't know exactly, but people were telling us police were bad, federales were good, or it might have been like
all right,
like police were more corrupt. I don't know what it was, but federales were scarier because they had masks on, and so. They put the guns at us and we're like, we both said it at the same time. So we're like, amigos. Because we like, and like later I wanted to be like, jinx. No, but we were like, amigos. And they were like, no, we don't fucking care. And they got us in the back of the truck and they had the.
Like your friends. Like you two are friends.
Yeah, we both just were like, amigos, amigos. And then we were in the back of the truck and we're like, we're friends. And we were like hugging each other. And the guy's finally like, who cares? I don't care. You're going to jail. You can hug each other the whole way. That's it. Like, this isn't a language barrier thing. Like, we get that you're friends. We don't care. And so, sorry, my dog is looking for a ball under the.
No worries.
And so I'm like, this is probably the most scared I've ever been because, I mean, like, having an automatic weapon to your face, even if you, like, I didn't think they were going to, like, shoot us, but it's still, like, just really scary.
Yeah.
And I guess the jail was just, like, 12 – it was so far. Or maybe time slowed down. I felt we were in the car for, like, 45 minutes. And we go to jail, and we're in jail in Mexico, and there's just, like, pretty fish out of water, and the people that are in jail with us are like kind of making fun of us because they're just like these 2 guys are like we're in like flip flops and board shorts and like just like all like way, and like no one's really talking to us. They're kind of like snickering at us. One guy's like was drunk as shit, was just passed out in the back, and we're like freaking out, and we're like, how do we get out? And then my buddy's like, how do we get out of here? I'm like, we're not getting out of here. Like, we're not. Are you talking about like escaping? We're not going to escape. Get out of here. And then like 2 hours later, they're like, all right, you're free to go. And our buddy paid them $60 cash. They just let us go. So that's that story. And then we were like, oh man, we got all worked up for. If we just would have gotten our pockets and maybe gave them $60, they would have let us go. Yeah, that's about it. We didn't go to court, which was great, and yeah.
Was that how you got out of it the other couple times? Like,
well, then we just stopped going to Rocky Point because it kind of had a like. One time we went, we got stopped 4 times, like once we crossed the border. And one time they were like, oh, one of us wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so we had to pay them money. And then the other one, there's beer in our car, even though it was unopened. And they were on walkie-talkies going like, hey, this white Durango's coming in with a bunch of like dumbass American dudes, like stop them and you can get money. Or like you can, because we were still like kind of drinking in the car, being idiots. Like, just stop these assholes. They're breaking the law. And so we stopped each way. And then that one, we went to the jail on the last one and like paid, but I wasn't driving that car.
Gotcha.
Did that experience make you more bold or less bold? Were you like, after that, were you like, oh, we could get arrested again? Or were you like, oh, if we get arrested, we could probably like pay to get out? Like, did it affect how you behaved the rest of the time?
It made me less bold and my friends more bold. But that's like, was our dynamic. Like, I felt like I was like the voice of reason always. Even in high school, like when we're like, let's go do like stuff we saw in Jackass. I'm like, guys, we just got our licenses. Like, we should really think about like should we, like, our parents like put a lot of trust into us. Like, and so they got more bold and I was like, no, I learned my lesson. I don't want to do that again.
I want to know just more about that bar.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was called?
No. But it was all sand. Like, it was on the beach. And it had like a huge bar and just like, and now looking back, I'm like, oh, they watered down all of their liquor, but still. And it was just, my dog is really messing this up. And it was just a beach bar, and they had like this dance floor that was really sad. It was like this, just like, it was maybe like 10 feet by 10 feet, maybe. And it was raised a little bit. And there was like a stripper pole there. And so you would just basically see really drunk dudes like being like, hey, it'll be funny if I go up there and strip. And everyone's like, no, it's not. But everyone's just so drunk. So like you would just watch people like, oh, they're going to hook up. Oh, they blew it because they're too drunk. Like, it was, I would like to go back now and just people watch. I think it would be it's just funny to see super drunk people interact. And sometimes it's not funny, but
when was the last time you went?
Oh, to Rocky Point. Oh God. Like 2010 maybe.
And did you know that, like, did you know it was going to be your last time? Were you like, oh, I think
I did.
This is it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we were like, out of, this fucking dog. We were out of college and starting to make a little more money. And I think we're like, hey, why don't we just grow up a little bit? And I think our next trip after that, we like flew to Costa Rica. And I'm like, cool. Yeah, there we go. Let's like step it up a little bit.
I'm talking real shit.
I'm telling you, if they recognize that we're friends, they're going to let us go. So I fashion this little friendship bracelet out of my shoelaces. Okay, it says BFF, Frank. So put it on.
We're being held hostage, you stupid asshole. They don't care if we're friends. They're trying to. That's probably actually worse because they'll try to get both of our parents to pay more money in ransom.
They're not going to murder two best buddies, okay? So put on this friendship bracelet, okay? And then practice with me, okay? We'll come up with one of those like hot cake handshake things.
Hot cake handshakes.
You know, like my mother told me, one of those things that we proves that we're best buddies.
Hey, can I be honest with you, Bruce? We really, I'd rather just be quiet. I don't know you that well. I'd rather just be quiet. We're just on our way to a destination wedding. All right. We carpooled because we both live in Los Angeles and we thought it would be easier, but I don't really know you that well. I saw you one other time at Mary's family.
Here's your cup of water. Here's your cup of water.
Could we get 2 straws to drink out of it together like a couple of best buddies?
I'm the easy one, by the way. I'm the easy one. Wait till my buddy gets in here. My real buddy gets in here. No, you can't have. What?
Your best friend?
Actually, he is my best friend. After we've been working, I'm not talking to you fucks. Okay, we're gonna get money from your parents, but my buddy's gonna come in here, and he's not gonna be so nice. Okay.
Did he get you that? Did he get you that necklace? The half of a lightning bolt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
nice.
We both like Lawrence Taylor from the Giants. I don't know if you remember, he wore lightning
I remember
earrings. Yeah. So when we connect ours, we can have one badass earring necklace.
Makes sense. That's what best friends do. They get each other matching jewelry.
Yeah, I don't see any matching jewelry on you two.
Josh, put on the friendship.
we're not even that good of friends. Honestly, we're more acquaintances. He's the rich one. My family's not rich. He's the rich one.
Rich in friendships with this.
No.
All right, well, drink your water, and I'll be back later for your food. Okay.
I don't.
What are you doing?
You've been pushing this friendship thing, like this best friend thing, since before we even got kidnapped. Okay, you can't force things like that. All right, we're acquaintances at best. We're both. I went to college with Mary. You were high school friends with her, so we're both going to her wedding. Okay, we're both making the big drive down to Cancun. We got kidnapped in Arizona. So what I mean, let's just try to give him what he wants. You have some money on you, right? You got to have like $200.
Yeah, of course. I got $200 on me.
How much do you have? Do you have more than 200?
Yeah, I have $2,000.
Jesus, just give him that. Let's get out of here.
You want me to give him $2,000?
Offer it.
Okay. For my
Hey,
best
what's
friend,
all this chat in here?
Nothing. We're
just talking about just share friend stuff, girls we've hooked up with, things like that. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay. Did you talk to my best friend in here earlier?
Yeah, but we did, and we recognized that he had a best friend because we're best friends.
Oh, how special for you.
we're not.
Do you know we rented tandem bikes?
Oh,
You guys do tandem bikes?
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually do recumbent bikes that are connected too.
Yeah.
wow. Hey.
Watch. You don't think we're best friends? Watch this, Frank. What's my favorite month?
June.
Of course, June gloom.
That's right.
I
I call him a June gloomy.
Josh and I get that. Josh, what's my favorite month?
April.
No.
Say yes to it. You know what?
You obviously don't have the bond that we have.
No,
Okay.
it's so clear.
We
Check
do.
this
We're
out.
best friends.
Check this out. It's a dance routine that we came up with. Ready?
Set.
Steady. Go.
Ready.
That's how we do it.
Whoa.
They're dancing like a very complicated dance with high fives and stuff. I'm just gonna go.
What?
I'm just gonna go out the door. But they're dancing like a whole thing.
You want to
See you
leave?
later.
You want to
Here
leave?
comes the finale.
He starts leaving out the door.
Hey, get back here. We're going to leave the best friend dance off.
We're not doing a dance off. There's a McDonald's across the street. I see it. We're barely in trouble.
Are you kidding me? Have you not seen House Party? This is where we show them that we're better friends.
And done.
All right.
We're done with our dance now. You're up.
What song are we? Okay, I mean, I'll try. I really think we should just leave, but
and a 1 and a steady, ready, steady. Best friends for Eddie. We like fall on the ground in a 69 position.
Hey, it's not dancing. What the hell?
Hey, now you're becoming true friends.
Yeah, that's commitment right there, guys.
That is commitment. I remember
That's
the
how you
first
know.
time that we did that, Josh.
Yeah, 69. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See?
But
This is how we do it. Ready, steady.
ready
At this
steady,
moment,
go.
they're all 69. Both couples are 69ing. A SWAT team busts through the door. Get out!
What
Give
the-
it.
See? I told you that's what best friends do.
Look, let's just do what they do on Jackass.
Oh, that's the crazy stuff. What you want to? You're gonna let like a snake bite my arm or something? I don't want to do.
No, I want
I
a
wanna-
snake to bite your wiener. That's what they do on Jackass. I've seen Jackass. It's online, right?
It's online. It's on
It's
DVD.
one guy. It's one guy who does all this crazy stuff. No other people, just one guy, clearly from his garage, doing this. That's Jackass.
You're confusing me now because in one of the Jackass movies, Chris Pontius does get his wiener bitten.
Whoa.
Dresses it
Wait,
up
there's
like a
movies?
mouse. Yeah, what are you watching? 'Cause
I went online. I went on a website called Reddit, and there
Okay,
was a
hold
thread
on.
that said Jackass. And under this thread of Jackass, there were all these YouTube clips, these really
We
short
cut to one
YouTube
of those
clips.
clips. We cut to one of those clips. Hi, y'all. Welcome to Jackass. My name is Bert Jackass, and this is my snake, Tony. Now, what I'm going to do is let Tony bite my dick, Jackass style. All right, come here, Tony. Come here, Tony. There we go. Take the box off.
We cut to these two friends watching. This is not it. This is not Jackass.
What are you talking about? His name is Bert Jackass.
No,
It
there's
clearly
a
is
much
Jackass.
better version of this.
Oh, there you go, Tony. There you go.
Ha ha! That's what I want to
This
do.
guy's
We just got our licenses, and this is exactly what I want to do.
I'm just telling you, there's a whole world out there. There's like even more clever stuff. Sometimes they have like a little guy getting chased by a fat man in like in underpants or something like that.
This sounds like
Yeah,
you're making it up, dude.
One time they got on it. They made a huge rocket, and the main guy Johnny Knoxville, he got on it, and they like fired it off into the sky.
Oh, no. Bert Jackass did something very similar to that.
Okay, welcome to Jackass. I'm Bert Jackass. This is my rocket, Tony. And what I'm going to do here, basically, I got a bunch of fireworks. Okay, I put them on my snake, Tony. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to light them fireworks off. And then once them fireworks are done lighting off, Tony's going to bite me on my penis. Okay?
Classic.
See, that's it.
Hey,
Oh, that's
I think
classic Jackass.
this guy almost. This guy just likes when snakes bite his dick. Okay,
But that's what makes Jackass so relatable.
What?
Like you and your friends can do that stuff in your own backyard. That's what makes it so cool.
There's just more to it. This seems like almost like a fetish, like a snake biting your penis fetish. We're like, I mean, they went in Jackass. They went to Tokyo. There's Party. What's it?
Bert
Party Boy.
Jackass did that too.
He did Party Boy.
No, he went to Tokyo.
Oh.
I'm Bert Jackass. We're at the Tokyo Grill in Anaheim, California, where I work part-time. Everyone's gone home. I'm in the back kitchen, and I'm going to have Tony the Snake bite me on my penis while I clean up the kitchen. This is Jackass.
Classic Jackass.
How many of these are there, and how many have you watched? Maybe it's the same question.
Oh, let's see. This says 10K. How much is that?
10,000.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah. Then if that's what K stands for.
Boys, are you hungry?
Yes, I'm a little hungry. How about what about you? You want my mom to make something for us?
I have a snake here, and he's pretty hungry.
Hey, what a coincidence. I was just watching Barefoot Contessa, and I thought I'd cook you up a little something. I watched the Barefoot
I've seen
Contessa video. Yeah.
Barefoot Contessa with that lady who's in the basement all alone, and she does shit.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I was going to get your father in here and put this snake on his penis.
No.
Yeah, well, too late, bucko. I'm already here. We got
classic
5K.
Barefoot Contessa.
We cut to Barefoot Contessa. It's just clearly the Burt Jackass with a wig on.
Well, hello. I'm Roberta Jacques, and this is Barefoot Contessa. What we're going to be cooking today is this snake. Just kidding. This snake is going to chomp on down.
Okay, it's the same guy.
Dress.
You need to get off Reddit. Reddit is toxic. I've tried to tell both of you that multiple times. There's actual TV in the world. Turn on the TV. Let's turn on our TV. You guys have Time Warner Cable.
And have our identity stolen? No, thank you.
Oh, my God. Here, I'm going to turn on ESPN. Look, it's a basketball game. What the fuck is this?
And it looks like LeBron's got the ball and he's pulling his pants down. What is that? It's not that basketball is a snake. And
He's getting so tired of the game. He's been so good that he's turned the ball into a snake. Oh, and the snake is biting him on the penis. I don't know if we're going to be able to show this.
That might make the Sports Center top 10.
Okay, you're right, Josh. I can get into this.
Great. Let's get back to the meat part of the podcast. Frank, This is where you share your story. What would you like to talk about?
So this will be the first time I'm sharing this story on a podcast. So why not do this on a improv podcast?
Yeah.
This is something that happened to me a few years back, where I got cancer, and then a few weeks later, my wife was hit by a car with our baby.
I remember this.
Oh. Yeah. So it's kind of wild because it was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after our daughter was born, and my mom was in town, and our friend was having a wedding in Silver Lake. So my mom was watching the baby, and we're like, okay, good. We have a night to go out and just kind of enjoy ourselves and, whatever. And at that time, I thought I had like somehow twisted, sometimes people twist their testicles.
Yeah.
you know how sometimes they do that. No, but like, I thought somehow like in the weeks of like having to take care of the baby or something, like I had done something weird where I twisted my leg weird or whatever. And I was having all this pain in my groin. I didn't know what was going on. And anyway, we go to this wedding. It's great. We're having a good time. And we get home, and I'm cleaning the dishes, and all of a sudden I drop a glass, and I double over in pain. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I was just doubled over in extreme pain. And my wife was like, you have to go to the emergency room. And I don't like, going to the emergency room or having to deal with doctors at all. And I was doing my best to kind of walk it off a little bit, even though I was like in excruciating pain. I just couldn't, handle it. And she's like, no, you have to get in a Uber and go down to the hospital, which was down the street. And I go down there, and I didn't even think about the fact that I'd have to be waiting in a like hospital waiting room for a long time. So I was in like basketball shorts and a t-shirt, and they have the AC just cranked. So on top of me being in like doubled in pain, just kind of like just shooting pain up, my abdomen and everything. And I'm also freezing completely, just kind of shaking, and I look like miserable. I'm like looking around, and everybody's kind of looking at me like, what the fuck is his deal? I look like a tweaker because I'm just like shaking and then just like doubled over in pain. I'm just like, oh, kind of making these loud grunting noise. And then they get me in, and they're like, okay, there's something here. There's a mass here. We're going to do an ultrasound. And they do an ultrasound, and I could tell by the way that the doctor came back with the results, kind of was like, I could tell something was up, because he was like, you need to see a urologist like tomorrow. This is like a Saturday night into Sunday. So Sunday. I can't remember what the timeline is, but anyway, that Monday morning, I go to your urologist. I'm still like in a shit ton of pain, and he checks me out, and he's like, "We have to operate now."
Wow.
So that literally that morning when I went in, I had to call my wife and be like, luckily my mom was there to take care of the baby. I had to call my wife and be like, I'm going into to have an operation now to remove this mass. And we didn't know what it was. And then right before I went into the operating room, they told me like, oh yeah, this is cancer. And we have to like remove this like right now, or else it's gonna, get worse and spread. And so that was the last thing that I had to hear before I went under. And it's kind of terrifying when you're like, holy fuck, what's going on? I know this isn't a funny story, but
it's okay.
But yeah. So I get out of that surgery. They say that it was a success, and that they're pretty sure they got everything. But that's the thing, is like, you're never really sure. They're just like, we removed what we could, and but there's a chance there could be like some cells that remain. So they're like, you heal, and we're going to talk to you in a few weeks about maybe doing chemotherapy or something like that. So I'm like, okay. So I'm home, and I'm trying to get better. So a few weeks go by, and I'm still recovering from this surgery, and I can't really do anything, and I'm frustrated because I can't really help out with a baby or anything like that. And my wife is like, okay, well, our baby was 7 weeks old at this time. She's like, we're going to go to the store. We're going to walk down to the store to return this item. And she puts the baby in like a sling on like her chest. And we have all the windows and doors open, because it's when we lived in an apartment, and because it was a nice breeze coming in. And as she's walking out, I'm, reading a book, and all of a sudden I just hear like people screaming, and I hear like a crash. And so I run out, because I'm like worried. Of course, the worst thought goes in my head, and of course I was right. My wife was sitting on the edge of the street with people surrounding her and our baby, and a guy had not run a red light, but how when you're crossing the street, people have to wait to turn left, if somebody's crossing. So This guy decided that he could probably miss her, or I don't know what he thought he could do, but he ended up hitting her as he turned, and she had to like use her arms, like almost like how they say like a mother's strength, she like with her arms like did the shield for the baby, and she somehow the baby didn't get hurt, but we weren't sure, because the baby wasn't kind of responding and stuff, and so we had to call an ambulance, and we got in there, and it was crazy, because the guy stopped, thankfully, but I'm hobbling out of their apartment, And I'm like just freaking out, and I'm like screaming at this guy. I'm like, I just went through cancer, you motherfucker, and like all this other stuff. And, just like I wanted to kill this guy so bad. And my wife was just like, no, don't, just calm down. It'll be fine. I'm like, you just got hit by a car and you're still being practical here. The practical one.
Yeah.
But we get to the hospital. The baby's okay, but my wife has a broken leg. So now we have both me and my wife who are out of commission taking care of a newborn. And then we're a few months after that, I start my chemotherapy. So during that time was like probably one of the worst, hardest times of our life, because we're both trying to heal and take care of a newborn. And luckily we had friends and family that helped, but it was really a very difficult time. And we got through it. But I will say, like, during that time, it did prepare us for this kind of whole pandemic thing of getting used to being trapped inside and not being able to leave, and like kind of being like, so when this stuff rolled around, we were kind of like, oh yeah, we know how to do this. It kind of helped prepare us a little bit. But only thing good that came out of that really was, strangely enough, the money that we made from, like the GoFundMe and we didn't get much for it. That's the thing that really sucks, is we didn't get much money from the accident, because the guy had he had really shit insurance. So we got like maybe like $20,000 for that whole thing after all the expenses and everything. So there's like nothing that really, but it did give us a little padding for, when we were out of work. So that helped a lot. And then during the chemo, I got to do a lot of edibles. So that rocked. So yeah. But, we came out the other side a lot stronger. And I know this isn't a funny story, but it's like, it is a meaty story.
It's definitely a meaty story.
It's definitely different than the story I told last time of seeing aliens and ghosts. So
no. We don't.
Yeah. I'm kind of giving you the abridged version of it, because it's such a long period. It was like maybe 4 or 6 months that everything kind of took place. And then, yeah,
I remember, and that was around, did we just lose Josh?
Yeah.
He lost me. Oh,
no.
Yeah, Jake's coming back. Yeah, last time you were on the show was before all that happened. I remember when you went through all this, it was like, I mean, just from an outsider's perspective, it was like, oh, Frank's having a kid. And then it was like, Jesus. Like,
it was one thing after another. So it was like, oh, cool. Yeah. You congrats on the kid. And you're like, holy shit, you have cancer. And then, holy shit, your wife got hit by a car. So, yeah.
Yeah. So how old was like the baby when you started like finding your feet again? Do you know what I mean? Like when did you finally feel like we're kind of back to normal, or I guess
sort of, yeah,
normal?
around, like she was around, I would say maybe 5 or 6 months. So she doesn't that's the thing, is that she won't know any of this other than what we tell her. You know, she didn't have to she was just kind of just a baby, just figuring other stuff out, just kind of oblivious to it all. And to her, nothing was out of the ordinary.
Which also means like no help at all, like still waking up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I just remember when all that was going down. Was that around the time of the election, or was that after?
No, that was it was a little bit after, like right after, because we took a picture of like, well, I voted, and like a couple of days before that, and then like after that, it was like, holy shit, because I remember people who were like looked on my Instagram being like, you just posted a picture of you, being like, I voted, and everybody looks happy. It's with the family, everybody looks happy, and it's like, yeah, that shit can change really fast.
What was your demeanor during all that? I think last time you were on, you told a story about not getting enough sleep and hallucinating, right? So I feel like you might be uniquely suited to sort of manage kind of a high stress situation, but like, what did you? But you're also a new parent. Like, what was it? What were you feeling going through all that stuff?
Well, yeah, because you already feel like a psychopath whenever, or like you feel like insane the first 24 hours or 48 hours of your child being born. Like your sleep is fucked and everything's fucked and nothing seems like you lose sense of time. So you're already having to deal with that kind of new schedule. And then on top of that, when everything kind of gets thrown into the air, you're even more like, what the fuck, and, it was tough trying to get sleep during that time and just kind of like what's going to happen next. And I gotta be honest with you, I can't really remember the sleep during that time, but I do remember during my chemotherapy, I would sleep in the living room just because of it was easier because of my sleep schedule, the way that I can't really describe why, but I decided like, I'll just sleep in the living room. And when I was doing that, I was taking a lot of edibles. And so I would just listen to albums and especially during chemotherapy, like I was like, you have to sit in a room for like 6 hours while they just kind of pump you full of poison. And I was like, well, how do I pass this time? And I didn't want anybody to visit me because I was like, that's the last thing I want people to do is to sit in a room with me and being bummed out about me going through this. And I tried to read and I couldn't read because it made me nauseous. So I was like, what I'm going to do? I'm going to go through albums that I haven't listened to in a long time, or maybe I didn't check out. And so I spent that time getting back into the later works of Pearl Jam. So I was like, hey, this isn't so bad, same with like, a bunch of the other bands that I kind of like, I loved as a teenager. And I was like, kind of fell off when they had their later work when I got into college or, when I was living in New York. And so I like revisited a lot of, I was like, hey, the Strokes weren't too bad after, their third album or whatever. And, maybe that Smashing Pumpkins album from 2012 or 2011 wasn't so bad either. So yeah, that was the one thing I do remember is just listening to a shit ton of podcasts and just catching up on bands from the 90s that I was like, let's see what their work is like now. Getting into it.
Interesting. Yeah. So that'll always have like how music sometimes brings you back to a place and time a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, so that music will be like chemo, like will be. Well, do you think that'll be coupled with that?
I think so, but in a weird way, because like I said, I had to. I couldn't take the medication because it was giving me, again, really funny stuff here, severe chest pains. So that's why I was having to do the edibles and stuff to help with a lot of that pain and stuff. And for me, I don't know about you guys, but like whenever I do that, it's already like time traveling. So whenever you're listening to stuff, you kind of feel like you're back in a period of time and you're like, whoa, all time exists at once. And, like really I'm there, but I'm also here. And I'm actually living that moment at the same time. And this moment has always existed. And it was always here and I'm here right now and I can be there as well. So then in a weird way, it has like, for me, when I hear some of that music, I have this double effect of being like, oh, it reminds me of that time, which reminded me of when I was in another time. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
What would you say to like, or I guess I was a two-parter sort of, but I'm just curious, like, what was something about, like, when I hear chemotherapy, I know like I know what it looks like because I've seen it on stuff, or I've never seen
like
it in
Breaking
person,
Bad
actually.
Is probably the most like that most people know like the way it looks.
It like flushes you out, right? That's basically how it works.
Yeah, they're pump.
I was just gonna ask, like, what is like, what's something about that process that like I don't know, which I'm sure everything, but what's something that surprised you or something like how would you describe it?
because I didn't know. Because I didn't have to go through radiation, thankfully. Usually when people think about that stuff, they think about the radiation process. And I was lucky that I didn't have to go through that many cycles of it. One thing that I did not anticipate was that my white blood cells dipped too low. And so they had to inject me with something else to make them come up so that I can handle the rest of the treatment. But I think the thing that people don't really realize, and I'm not minimizing it's rough. It's really tough to go through it. But at the same time, I was expecting a lot worse. I was scared because I was like, I don't know what to expect, but, you're hooked up to like an IV and stuff. And during very different intervals of time, they're attaching different things that they pump into your system. And there was this one thing, I can't remember what it is that they pumped into my system, but it makes you like your allergic reaction. Like you get like your scalp gets super itchy and your body feels like it's on fire. And that's such a weird feeling. It's like that for like a minute or two. And then all of a sudden it just kind of dissipates, and it's pretty wild. But it's a long time that you're sitting in that room, and it's kind of like, again, like I was the kind of person who was like, I don't want you to have to sit here and watch this, because a lot of friends offered to come over and sit with me during that time. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't want that. Yeah.
I hear you.
And then I had like lost my hair during the process, which to me was, my hair was like kind of my identity for a while. And so like when that happened, I was like, no. But as you can see, it grew back, but it came back curly for some reason. I have another friend who just went through treatment who her hair started growing back, really curly too.
Wait,
I don't know if
really?
that's a side effect or what.
Huh.
Really?
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I don't know if you can see on here on the the Zoom, but like it used to be pretty like, just straight, and I could, Mad Men style it, kind of way. But like now it's just like it's all just kind of curls and stuff. It's weird how it grew back.
I'm talking real shit. Things I should tell me. Some kind of truth. Improv.
Thanks for coming in to get a second opinion.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, your doctor said you have testicular cancer. That's your first doctor, your primary physician, or urologist.
Yeah, I seem pretty sure of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't have that. You have what I like to call twisted testicles.
Like literally twisted?
No. That's my own phrase. It's in my own book. It's twisted. It's figurative. They're twisting up. They're twisting around. That's what you have.
So it's literal. You're making a motion with your hand. I'm saying
They're not twist. It's not like a ride. They're not twisting around. You would feel. You would feel if your testicles were twisting.
okay. So I went
What
to
if
my.
I told you
Mhm.
that I don't believe our testicles should ever descend from our body. And that's why we have problems when they do descend from our body.
Do you work in this office, or are you?
I do. I work here. Yeah, I work here.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
it's a hard office to find. It's a hard office to find, right?
Yeah.
Right by the yoga studio and the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wanted a second opinion, though, right?
I guess. I mean, I wanted to. I have covered California, so I just needed to make. Just wanted to
Get a lot of you. Yeah.
cover my bases. So you think that the testicles shouldn't have descended?
I know that the testicles should not. Testicles should not. That is a design flaw or human error. I haven't figured out which one yet. They should never drop from our bodies. When they do, that's when they get twisted.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes. Oh, wow. Yes.
Hi. I don't know if you remember me. A couple months ago, I came in and you helped reascend my testicles.
Yes, I sure
wanted
do.
to drop off this edible arrangement and tell you
Thank
that
you.
my life has never been better.
Thank you, Roger. Roger's 65 years old, by the way. Roger's the whole life of
Hey, Roger.
through those.
Life starts at 65, and life starts with your testicles back up inside you.
Yeah,
Roger, was your voice always like that?
No.
no, that is a side effect.
It happened
That is a side
almost
effect.
immediately after he pushed my balls back inside my body. Okay.
What did you come in for? Did you think you had cancer, or did you just want
No,
the?
your edible arrangement. He gave me an edible.
I know what he's here for now. I'm asking what he came.
Originally,
Yeah.
I had my hip hurt.
Yeah.
All right. And the hip pain has gone away.
Knock, knock.
Got it.
Uh-oh.
My fucking dick and balls are out.
Okay. I didn't tell you to take your balls out. Okay. I have the X-ray up here. I don't need them out.
I was trying to save you an awkward request. Fine.
Okay.
I'm the third one in this room for having my balls out at a.
Come on in. Yeah, put your dick away. Come on in. Come on in.
Doctor, I had an accident. They
Yeah.
fell down. They fell back down.
Did you not do your Kegel exercises? the Magel exercises? The male
I
Kegel?
thought one day would be fine.
Oh, well, one day isn't fine now. Look at you.
I know, now they're to the ground.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yep.
You teach
Here, let me show. Oh, I tripped.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, here. Let's see. We'll get to the operating room. We'll get those. We'll coil those back up.
God bless you, doctor.
Thank you so much.
Do you mind if I
Look.
have a little piece of this edible arrangement?
I actually think it'd be nice if you did have it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Look, you would not tell the testicles. You know about the testicles, right? What
Had
their
them my
main
whole
function
life.
Is?
With
Okay.
the
but
what?
That doesn't mean that the what is the purpose of the male testicle?
To make semen, so you can.
You can say it.
To make semen, so you can. They hang outside. What?
Procreate. Semen to
Procreate.
procreate, right?
Thank you.
Okay. Why do we have the most important part of our body hanging around, knocking around everywhere? Okay. Do you ever have?
Because the
you ever see
temperature it's not as hot. They have to have it that they have to be
what they
outside.
say. That's what they say. You don't see a mother hen hanging her eggs off of by her legs there. No, she's sitting on them, putting heat on. Does that not make sense to you?
Been made.
Hmm?
What do you think? How do you think eggs
Do
work?
you want me to shove your testicles back up into your body or not? Okay?
No, I don't
And
think.
fix what you got.
I don't think that's. I think. What about the cancer part?
That'll go away.
You
If your balls go, look, how many 13-year-old children, 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 10-year-old boys have testicular cancer? What's the ratio?
0.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right?
fine, do it.
Okay. That's all I need.
Cut to me with my partner back at home.
Say,
Well,
there's
Chip-
something different.
I don't think so. Ship
I don't
shape.
know. I don't know.
I didn't
Come
even have
over
to
here.
go through the procedure. No cancer, no surgery, no nothing.
But there's something different about you.
I don't think so, honey. Do I look
here.
We
sexy?
cut to the doctor's home. Well, we don't got to eat again. We got another edible arrangement. There we go.
Boy!
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yay, Daddy!
All right, Frank. So we got your script. Let me just tell you. We like you. We think you're a talented guy. The script a little heavy on the first act. This can't all be. Let's tame it down a little bit. So in your script, the baby is born, The husband gets testicular cancer.
Right.
The wife and the kid get hit by a car. The wife breaks their leg. Then the husband starts chemo. And that's all in the span of 4 months, you said?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 months. And then after that, I start boogie boarding.
And that's the part I love, by the way. I'm conferencing in from Milwaukee. I just want to say
That's right. Josh, my man from Milwaukee, he gets it.
Yeah, I like that part. I want to green light that.
Well, we might. We all like the boogie boarding part.
Okay. So what's the
boogie
issue?
boarding? Well, a lot of times this is a common note we give to people who are writing movies. You don't need to pack the first act with everything going. It's just not a believable story. No one could have that bad of luck.
Maybe I have a fix for this. So in the second act, my whole family dies in a bus accident. Okay.
Boogie boarding?
I mean, I'm getting there, brother. You know I am.
Okay.
That's a third act for sure. I got that competition to do. But I'm just saying, like, if you're worried about the first half being too packed, I can pack the second half with that as well.
I think it's just too much no matter what. This would be, if this happened to a friend of mine, I'd be upset. But this is a boogie boarding tale.
What's that?
It's a boogie boarding story. It's about you finding your kind of sea leg, so to speak, but on the boogie boarding. So maybe the first act is just something like you couldn't swim, or you
Well, I couldn't for a while, actually. I really couldn't because I was addicted to heroin, so that made it really hard.
Yeah, I guess what we're saying is it just doesn't. It feels like 3 movies, but each act is a different movie.
Oh, I see.
The boogie boarding's great.
The first act might be 10 movies, to be honest with you.
Okay, right.
None of what happened in the first act caused him to start boogie boarding. I mean, you wrote it, you know it. In the second act, all of a sudden it just switches to like an 80s movie, which I love. And he's in a competition for boogie boarding, but it had nothing to do.
Well, how about this? This happened in my actual life. I snuck aboard a NASA space shuttle for a hot second before I was thrown off, and then I started my own bar.
In this. Where did you start the bar? I'm sorry.
I mean, it was outside of the bar. It was outside of the space shuttle. They had kicked me out, and I said, you know what? I got to get my life together. I'm going to start this bar, and there's a whole bunch of crazy cast of characters that come into this bar. Let me tell you, and I could easily fit that into the first act. I'll just throw that in there. That'll fix the movie, right?
We should subtract things from the first act.
Okay, got it.
That
but that's
sounds
all
like
my journey to the boogie
That's a true
boarding.
story. That. The space you actually snuck aboard a spaceship?
Correct.
That's a whole movie in itself.
But I think let's not lose the boogie board stuff. Let's not. Honestly,
that's what we paid for. That's the elevator pitch we took.
That's right. Josh, my man, understands. He got that Milwaukee air. He gets it.
I have never been to a beach, so I would love a boogie board. That's so rich. I've never seen anything like that.
Here's the deal. I'll get rid of all that stuff. I'll just focus on the boogie boarding. Okay. Just the boogie boarding and the fact that I become a secret agent during that time where, it's not really a secret agent. It's more that the police come to me because I'm in with the boogie boarding community. And I have to go undercover, for this bank heisting ring, that's going on at the same time. See, I have to get in with them.
We cut inside the movie to him trying to get in with the bank heist crew.
So, boogie boarding, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I'd love to do one day? Rob a bank.
And who would you do that with?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe you.
You don't have a best friend?
A talking donkey walks up to the movie. I love nachos.
Billy Beer. What are you doing over here?
Who's this?
This is Billy Beer the donkey.
My life is made by eating nachos and making love, and I am all out of love.
See, that's something that he says all the time, and we think it's great. So
Yeah,
are we going
I
to rob
say
a
that.
bank or what?
Let me see you do your best friend dance.
All right, you ready? Steady.
He sucks the donkey's dick.
So what do you say? We rob a
cut to-
bank?
Back to they're watching. They watch the first cut of the movie. There's barely.
I literally have no notes.
Babe, can you watch the kids today? I've got to watch Jurassic Park 2 and Jurassic Park 3.
Oh yeah, of course, no problem. Yeah, of course.
Great.
Wait, you're saying 2 and 3?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch 2 and 3. They were garbage the first time I watched them, but I've got these edibles are making me rethink some of my choices, critics' choices. You know how I write for the LA Times movie reviews.
Yes, of course.
I'm gonna have to rewatch these movies high and maybe print some retractions, because I got to tell you, I've started to really enjoy some of the things I sort of sneezed at earlier.
Okay, well, I mean, is there any way I can help you? Is there anything else that you need that maybe you need to revisit?
Well, I mean, if you can get your hands on KFC double, because I had one of those, thought it was garbage. Surge, if you can find a Surge out there somewhere.
Yeah. I have Robert Altman's Popeye. Do you want to watch that? Will that help any? Robert Altman's Popeye?
Yeah.
Robert Altman, the director, the very famed director who did very good movies, did a Popeye movie. Do you want to watch that?
Yeah, I think I should watch that. I'm quite sure I thought that was garbage the first go around, but now
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
What is that?
Hello, anyone in here?
Oh,
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? It's your friend from college, Kyle.
oh right.
oh my God! Here's a perfect
Kyle.
opportunity for you, sweetie. Kyle sucked ass.
I was-
remember that he was so terrible. He was
I
always
sucked
watching
ass.
Robert Altman's Popeye.
We're watching Popeye.
Here's your chance, honey.
Okay. Whew. All right. Kyle?
I am's what I am's, and I am's what I am's. I am's what I am's.
That's the movie.
It, or is Kyle doing that impression?
That's me,
I think
baby.
he's doing the
Oh.
impression.
Wow,
It's good.
okay.
It's good to see you, man. You didn't want to hang out. We haven't seen you in like 10 years
Yeah.
since we graduated.
Yeah. You always were pissing on my face in college, so I
That's just our dynamic. I'm surprised you're still with Karen.
Well, I love Karen.
Okay.
Please don't challenge me in my own home if I love my wife.
Whatever. Anyway, do you want to watch
Okay.
Popeye? You called me, dude. You called me.
Yeah. Let's put on Popeye. Let's watch it together. You want to order some food? What do you want?
I'll have whatever. I'll have whatever. But I brought over some of those
Ding
microwave
dong.
brews from 7-Eleven.
Ding
Now, what is
dong.
I am so glad we got those
Charles E.
different.
Cheese. Charles E. Cheese pizza delivery.
What the fuck, dude? Did you bring? How'd you know this was my favorite food?
You called me. Or someone called me.
Yeah.
I did that. Honey, I know that you had a bad experience with Charles E. Cheeses in the past, and I thought since you were on this quest that you could use this.
Thank you. Honey, I'm wondering if we might be overdoing it out of the gate.
No. I'm here for my sweetums, and I want to support you in everything that you do.
Okay. This is a lot. We got Charles E. Cheese pizza. Oh, he's making himself comfortable.
It's so nice to hang out with people again. I've been breaking quarantine this whole time, but it's nice that
Me too, of course.
Yeah, we don't
You guys have
believe in
been
that
breaking-
stuff.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I went to a party in the Ozarks.
Okay. All right.
Honey, by the way, I booked us a foam party. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, a foam party. I've always detested foam parties. I found them to be disgusting.
You're an idiot.
You might like
They're
it
really
now.
fun.
That's right. I might like it now. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right. Eat some of this pizza. Oh, it's ice
It is
cold.
boiled onion, boiled onion leek ice cold pizza. I replaced the tomato paste with margarine, not butter, margarine, and the crust is an actual piece of cardboard.
Yum, yum,
Okay.
yum. Give it
Well,
a second go around.
Right. I've got to give this a second go around. So far,
What's the matter? I thought we were going to hang.
I'm
You
trying
seem
to
like
hang.
you're bummed out.
I am trying to hang. Okay. You know what? I listened to a couple Strokes albums that were still pretty good that I thought were bad. I revisited October Sky. Turns out it was pretty good. So I figured, I got to give some other things another go around now that I'm on these edibles. But this pizza's garbage. Charles E. Cheese, you're a lunatic.
What?
And Kyle, you've been nothing but rude since you've got here.
I'm not rude.
Hey, what's going on in here?
Oh, no.
Oh, Randy.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being on the Meet Improv. It was
Yeah,
nice
thanks, dude.
seeing you over Zoom.
Yeah, it was good to
It's
see you
like-
guys.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Now we'll go around and plug stuff. Let's start with you, Frank. What do you got?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Frank Garcia-Hejl, Hejl. I have two podcasts. One is called The Canon, and I co-host that with Jeff Garlock. It's where we go through the movies of the Canon Film Group. This awesome film group from the 80s that released stuff like Death Wish 2, a lot of Chuck Norris movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme, a lot of fun movies like that. And then speaking of Smashing Pumpkins, I actually do host a Smashing Pumpkins podcast with my buddy Pat O'Brien. This actually the idea came out of my chemo stuff of being like, hey, I like these later albums, so now I want to do a podcast where we just talk about the music of Smashing Pumpkins with another one of my best friends who's a really big Pumpkins fan. It's very niche, but we have fun doing it. But it's called the Smashing Pumpkast. Cast spelled K-A-S-T.
Amazing.
It wrote itself. Yeah.
Do you get into Zwan at all on there? Or
We
do you-
will be getting into Swan. Yeah, we will be getting it. Do you know there's like 160 songs? They released that album that's only like 12 or 14 tracks, but there's like 100 or whatever plus more tracks that they didn't get to release.
What?
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, it's insane.
well- Awesome. Josh, what do you got?
Oh man, you can. It's so weird promoting during the quarantine. It's like you can't really see me anywhere. At Josh Brekus on Twitter. I think we have a Herald show on the 5th of June at 7. But when we get back into the real world, you can catch me at Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in Los Angeles.
Cool.
Pretty much every Monday night. Yeah.
I forgot something.
Oh, and I'm making, and you'll get my beer in a while. And my beer will be dropping in a month.
I'm looking forward to that.
Hell yeah. What's it called?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Jake? Oh, damn it, I had a whole month. It's going to be called the Allen. I want it to be really classy. The Allen.
Way to make him name his beer in 2 seconds.
I realized I forgot something. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I talked about these podcasts, but then I actually have something coming out that's worth talking about. In June on Shudder, the horror app, I co-wrote and acted with Noah Segan for a short for this comedy horror anthology movie called Scare Package.
Cool.
And we have a segment in there and that's going to be on Shudder in June, and you can
that's
check
awesome.
that out. Yeah, it was really fun. John Gabris, Don Finelli, I'm trying to remember who else is in it as well. But it's got a lot of people that you recognize. I feel bad that I'm forgetting names right now because I'm kind of spacing. But a lot of cool people in that, and we had a lot of fun making it. And yeah, it's finally coming out.
That's awesome. I love horror shorts. Like VHS and stuff like that, right?
It's like a comedic VHS.
Oh, cool.
Jake?
You can follow me at Wake Up with Jacob or check out weimprov.org for workshops and shows and all that fun stuff.
I'm at Mr. Josh Simpson on Twitter, Josh Simpson on Instagram. I got a video coming out someday soon. It's taken me forever to make. And it's very stupid. You'll know it when you see it. Meet Improv's on all the platforms. We got a Patreon, patreon.com/themeetimprov, where we have an extra bonus episode every week where we talk about improv and where you can get access to our Discord channel and ask Jake and I questions. That's it. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time on The Meet Improv.
I'll take